Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Power Art. Today, we're going to go back in time a little bit, as I used to do some lore videos on the channel. Did like a few. Let's go and do some more. Today we're going to be doing Pokemon lore. So yeah, I know some of the lore. I know of like the creation myth of Arceus creating the creation trio, Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina, then creating Quasar, Groundon, and Kyogre to build the world, um, Regigigas to move the continents around, and other legendaries and stuff like that. I know some of the lore, but this some lore I don't know. So let's find out together.
In the beginning, there was nothing. A vortex of chaos and endlessness was all that the universe was. But an egg came to float in that void.
Okay.
That egg hatched, spilling forth life, matter, and creation in the form of Arceus. Arceus, using his thousands of arms, created Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina. With it, time, space,
Okay.
and antimatter, creating the universe as we see today. Giratina was banished to the distortion world, a sort of mirror to the universe, due to its violent nature. Arceus would also will into being the three-legged guardians, Azelf, Uxie, and Mesprit, forming willpower, knowledge, and emotion, traits that would be imparted on all living things in Arceus' world.
Okay.
Untold years later, long after the Earth was shaped, super ancient Pokemon Groudon and Kyogre would fiercely battle in an area known as the Hoenn region. As Groudon would expand the land, Kyogre shaped the oceans, with the two meeting in ancient Hoenn, becoming rivals and fighting for dominance. Conflict would continue indefinitely until a third being, Rayquaza, descended from the heavens to quell them both, where they would sleep deep in the earth to recover from this horrendous battle. Rayquaza remains protecting the earth from asteroids.
Box.gg dropped a limited box with a first edition rocket pack. While
Ooh,
opening it, this
kinda
happened.
wanted.
Box Express shipped it to my house so I could open it at a local show I hosted, and this is what I pulled. We're starting it, guys. First edition heavy rocket pack. Abra.
Regigigas began to shape the continents in the wake of this
Got distracted
battle,
there for a
forming
second,
several
sorry.
regions across the Earth and creating great mountain ranges, including Mount Coronet in the ancient Hisui region. He formed 5 golems in his image: Registeel, Regice, Regirock, Regieleki, and Regidrago. Arceus creates 3 artifacts linked to Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina for unknown reasons, but the 3 orbs would be used to bring about their true form again in the future. Dialga and Palkia assumed fleeting forms, while Giratina remained locked away in the distortion world. Arceus would then create the Mew, known as the ancestor of Pokemon. It is hypothesized that all Pokemon descended from Mew in some way or another.
Okay.
Arceus, seeing his creation complete, disappeared. Around 300 million years before the beginning of the games, the Mew population slowly decreased. Such species as Armaldo, Relicanth, and Aerodactyl roam the Earth as the only Pokemon in existence. Not much happens in this period, as humans have yet to come into existence. It's believed that the Area Zero underground is formed in the Paldea region around 2 million years ago. Unfortunately, this led to almost all Terrapagos being wiped out, with one surviving by turning its body into a crystal. 1 million years after, the Great Crater of Paldea was formed. 20,000 years ago, a meteor hits the Galar region, with Eternatus residing in that meteor, remaining dormant for a time. 10,000 years ago, the Regis were sealed across multiple regions after being worshipped by humans for thousands of years prior. The reason for this is unclear, but it's believed that humans feared the Regis. Many years before the events of Pokemon Legends Arceus, an unknown legendary hero traveled around ancient Hisui, befriending several Pokemon, collecting all of Arceus' legendary plates. The hero was so powerful that they defeated Arceus, with Arceus granting the descendants of the hero's Pokemon special powers. These would become the noble Pokemon that were worshipped by humans in Hisui going forward. A few thousand years before Legends Arceus, the Celestica people migrated from Sinjoh, an area of Johto, to Hisui. They brought with them their culture, creating the Celestica Trail, the Celestica Ruins, and the Temple of Sinnoh. They worshipped the 3 mighty beings of creation along with Arceus, who is known to these people as the Almighty Sinnoh. In the Kalos region, the Kalos War occurred, causing the deaths of thousands of...
Okay, hold on, wait. So they called Arceus Sinnoh, so that's why it's called the Sinnoh region.
They worship the three mighty beings of creation along with Arceus, who is known to these people as the Almighty Sinnoh.
Okay, that makes sense why the Hisuian changed to Sinnoh. They don't know that. Okay.
In the Kalos region, the Kalos War occurred, causing the deaths of thousands of Pokemon and people alike. The king, AZ, loses his beloved companion Floette in the fighting. He uses Infinity Energy to create a machine to revive Floette, granting them both eternal life. AZ then uses this machine to end the war, killing countless Pokemon and people, but ultimately does indeed end the war. Floette became disgusted by the king's actions and fled. AZ, now burdened by immortality, begins wandering the planet in search for Floette, or to make amends for his past misdeeds. The king's brother, seeing the power of the machine, buried it in a secret location. Around the same time in Galar, the Darkest Day occurs, with Eternamax Eternatus releasing massive amounts of energy and causing the wild Pokemon of Galar to Dynamax and Gigantamax. Two unnamed heroes, along with Zacian and Zamazenta, defeat Eternatus. However, their triumph was lost to time, despite the heroes becoming the kings of Galar. 2,000 years ago, the Hoenn region is constantly being besieged by meteors. The home of the Draconid people is wiped out, forming meteor falls. The meteors carried natural energy and caused an abundance in the region, awakening Kyogre and Groudon, who coveted this energy. Once again, they clash, bringing death and destruction to the Hoenn people. The Draconid people made a fervent wish to Rayquaza, who heard the Draconids play and ended the fighting between the super ancient Pokemon. The Draconids, thankful for its help, begin to worship Rayquaza. 1,000 years before the events of the games, AZ travels to the Hoenn region and plants a tree outside the Cave of Origin. Sometime close to this, another primal energy-filled meteor strikes the Hoenn region, forming the crater of Pseudopolis City. In turn, Kyogre and Groudon would awaken after the impacts. The people of Hoenn once again wished on Rayquaza to save them. However, this time, Rayquaza would use the power of the meteor himself and perform the first ever Mega Evolution, releasing his true form. Rayquaza swiftly defeats the two other super ancient Pokemon, removing their primal forms in the process and forcing them to return to yet another slumber. The Draconid people construct the Sky Pillar as tribute to Rayquaza. However, it is prophesied that another meteor would threaten Hoenn 1,000 years in the future, with the Draconids promising to pass down this prophecy to whoever would be around in the future to deal with this. 805 years before the games, the world famous...
Makes sense. I've stopped playing Pokemon after, I played Galar. I played Sword Shield. I beat Sword Shield. I played a little bit of Scarlet Violet, never beat it. Never played Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, so the whole stuff with the lore of the Mega of like AZ going to Hoenn, that's new to me. The reason why the requires to be in the first Mega, new to me. Never played Alola, and Kalos was the last game that I've actually was besides Galar. Kalos, I played Kalos. I skipped Alola, Sun and Moon, then played Sword Shield. So, yeah.
Miss Naranja and Uva Academies were formed in Mesagoza in Paldea. Long before Legends Arceus, the Diamond and Pearl clans migrate to Hisui and take the name of the Celestica people as their own, despite not being from Sinjoh like the real Celestica people. They mistakenly worship Dialga and Palkia as the mighty Sinnoh, while they both derive from Arceus. This disagreement forms a generational feud between the two clans. Several hundred years before the games, the Sinjoh ruins are created by people from Hisui and Johto, linking the two cultures together. Pokeballs are also invented in this period. Around 700 years before the games, the Brass and Bell Towers are constructed as resting places for Ho-Oh and Lugia in Ecruteak City in the Johto region. 200 years later, in the same Johto region, the pharmacy in Cianwood City is built. Around the same time, Spiritomb is trapped in the Odd Keystone in Hisui. 400 years before the games begin, a drought strikes Azalea Town but is ended by Slowpoke yawning. The Slowpoke well is constructed, and the Slowpoke are held to high esteem from then onwards. 300 years ago, the events of Pokemon...
That sheer coincidence if that happened of... That's a random Slowpoke yawned right before a thunderstorm. That could have been any Pokemon. That could have been a Trubbish. And they would have been celebrating Trubbish forever.
When Legends Arceus begin, A strong trainer from the distant future is ripped from their world, dragged back in time by Arceus with a mysterious instruction: seek all Pokemon. The trainer meets with Professor Laventon, who invites them to become part of the Galaxy Expedition team. The Hisui region is besieged by a strange rift in the sky that appears to be causing the noble Pokemon of the region to act frenzied. The leader of the Survey Corps, Commander Kamado, asks the trainer to seek out and quell the noble Pokemon, while Laventon and Silene ask them to document the wild Pokemon of Hisui. The trainer succeeds in quelling the noble Pokemon with the help of the Diamond and Pearl clans. However, this does not seal the rift and the frenzies continue, even expanding. Kamado, long suspecting the trainer as being the cause of the rift, banishes the trainer, vowing to deal with the rift atop Mount Coronet himself. The trainer retreats with his friend Volo to a woman named Cogita, where she revealed both her and Volo are descendants of the Celestic people, and the trainer must seek out the 3 Lake Guardians, defeat them, and forge the Red Chain. The trainer succeeds and allies with the Diamond and Pearl clans, traveling to the Temple of Sinnoh. The trainer battles their way through the Galaxy Expedition Corps and defeats Kamado. The trainer then comes face to face with Dialga or Palkia. While the Red Chain does fail, they still manage to catch the Pokemon. Then, the other Guardian of Space-Time would appear, frenzied, in their original form. The trainer battles the remaining Dialga or Palkia, defeating them and catching them in the Origin Ball, a tool created by the remnants of the Red Chain. The rift is closed and the Hisui region is saved. Throughout this journey, the trainer has been collecting the 18 plates of Arceus. When 17 have been collected, Volo asks the trainer to meet them at the Temple of Sinnoh. Volo reveals that he has been working with Giratina the whole time, and it was Giratina who created the space-time rift above Mount Coronet. He attacks the trainer in the hope to secure the plates for himself, but the trainer successfully defends themselves, defeating both Volo and Giratina and securing the final plate from Volo. The trainer manages to capture and document every Pokemon in the Hisui region, and with 18 plates in tow, they obtain the Azure Flute. Climbing Mount Coronet once more, they play the flute, doing battle with Arceus in the Hall of Origin. The trainer repeats history and defeats Arceus, proving them to be worthy of Arceus himself. Arceus then grants them a fragment of himself to use in battle. The trainer would go on to live out the rest of their days, helping shape Hisui and Pokemon-human relations for future generations, and themselves to come. 200 years before the games begin, the historian Heath reaches the end.
In Pokemon and Legends Arceus, you don't go home at the end of it. You grow old and die, and okay, that's some fucked up shit there, bud. Okay. I would have thought that you really gone home at the end of the game. You got ripped away from. Just imagine if you're the champion of you beat Cynthia, and you become champion. You go to bed, and you wake up, and you don't remember shit from your past, and you are now in the Hisui region, and you just get told by God, "Hey, fix this shit, please." That's wild shit right there.
End of the great crater of Paldea and records their findings in an expedition journal. Heath talks about the insane discoveries the team has made, including Paradox Pokemon, Terrestrialized Pokemon, and a chance encounter with a strange disc Pokemon, Terrapagos. 150 years before the games begin, the Brass Tower is struck by lightning and burns to the ground. Lugia flees to the Whirl Islands. However, 3 unknown Pokemon, possibly believed to be Vaporeon, Flareon, and Jolteon, are resurrected out of pity by Ho-Oh. The inhabitants of Ecruteak City feared the Pokemon, as they had upset the balance of life and death, attacking them. The 3 beasts fled, never once retaliating against those people. Ho-Oh, ashamed of the humans' actions, fled and would never return. 50 years before the games begin, expert Pokemon trainer Mustard defeats Opal and becomes the Pokemon League champion in the Galar region. Around the same time, 2 protagonists lead Pokemon League champion in the Galar region. Expert Pokemon trainer Mustard defeats Opal and becomes the Pokemon League
Opal was the champion of Galar. I don't remember this. Okay, I played Galar. I just don't remember that.
Champion in the Galar region. Around the same time, 2 protagonists leave their respective hometowns on an adventure, with one goal: to collect 8 badges, finish the Pokédex, and become the regional Pokemon League champion. Red leaves Pallet Town in the Kanto region, along with his rival Blue, in a bid to become Pokemon Masters. Both were entrusted with the Pokédex by Professor Oak, Blue's grandfather. Red travels across the region, capturing Pokemon and claiming gym badges, always one step behind Blue. The two boys become entangled with the plans of Team Rocket, a villainous gang hell-bent on lying, cheating, and stealing their way across the Kanto
You lie, you cheat, steal, incredible.
region. It comes to a head at the Silphco building in Saffron City, after Giovanni, the team's leader, takes the president of the corporation and the entire building hostage. Red is there to save the day and defeats Giovanni, saving the Silphco employees. Red then returns to the previously closed Viridian City gym after claiming 7 badges, only to find Giovanni was the gym leader the entire time.
Okay.
Red defeats him once again, with Giovanni deciding to disband
Remember
Team
this
Rocket once and for
vividly.
all. Red turns his attention towards the Pokemon League, facing off and defeating Gary on the way to the badge check gates. He valiantly battles his way through the Pokemon League, crushing the Elite Four. Red, ready to face the champion, comes face to face with Blue, who had only just defeated Lance to claim the title of champion. Red defeats Blue one last time, smashing his dreams into smithereens. Finally, the new champion Red travels across the Sevi Islands to defeat the last remnants of Team Rocket. He helps the scientist Celio to connect the Kanto region and the Hoenn region together via the Pokemon Network Center.
If you misplaced your card,
Slide to the right and the card's blocked.
Roughly at the same time, Brendan or May moves to Little Root Town from Olivine City in the Johto region.
Okay.
Much like Red, they embark on an epic adventure after saving Professor Birch from a wild Pokemon attack. The two trainers become natural rivals, along with Wally, who they assist in catching his first Pokemon just outside of Petalburg City. Their goal, once again, is to become the champion of the Hoenn League. However, Team Aqua or Team Magma seek to awaken Kyogre or Groudon again to fulfill their aims to expand the sea or land respectively, meaning the trainer tangles with them at
Archie got a massive upgrade in his design. Maxie's good too, but Archie went gone up. Okay.
several points of their adventure. The trainers travel the region, collecting badges and filling out their Pokédex. However, despite several attempts to stop Team Aqua and Team Magma, they still manage to awaken their respective super ancient Pokemon, who seek the primal energy from eons past. The trainers travel to the Cave of Origin, where Kyogre or Groudon take their primal forms, but they are defeated by the trainers before the Hoenn region is completely destroyed. Brendan or May claims their final badge from the Suitopolis gym. They travel to Evergrande City and face off against Wally one last time. In this fantastic battle, Wally is defeated, clearing the way for Brendan or May to become the Pokemon champion. After Brendan or May becomes the Pokemon champion, a meteor is due to hit the Hoenn region. However, those at the Moss Deep Space Center hatch a plan to divert the meteor by creating a wormhole from the Infinity Energy, based off findings related to AZ using the ultimate weapon in the past. Zinnia, a descendant of the Draconid people, rejects this, as the meteor would just end up destroying another planet. Zinnia plans to wish for Rayquaza to destroy the meteorite and heads to the Spear Pillar in an attempt to summon it. Brendan or May follows, with Zinnia divulging the history of the Hoenn region. Rayquaza is summoned by Zinnia, but is unable to Mega Evolve, realizing that Brendan or May possess the meteorite that allows him to transform. Rayquaza faces the trainer and is defeated and captured, with the trainer being deemed worthy of it. Zinnia then battles the player in order to see Rayquaza's true form. Defeating Zinnia, Brendan or May flies into space on the back of Rayquaza, who uses his Mega Form to smash the meteorite. Deoxys is revealed to reside in the meteor and becomes aggressive, but Rayquaza and the trainer successfully defeat and capture Deoxys. Ethan or Lyra embark on their journey to become champion of the Johto and Kanto regions, since they share the same Pokemon League. They visit Professor Elm in New Barktown, who is studying Pokemon eggs and is entrusted with a Pokemon of their own in order to complete a task for Elm. They have to take an egg to Mr. Pokemon, who lives down the way. While they complete this task, Silver steals another of Elm's Pokemon and also commits to beating all 8 gyms across the Johto region, showing up to battle Ethan or Lyra often. Silver sees Pokemon as a means to an end, as tools to be used for strength. While Ethan or Lyra travel the scenic Johto region,
greatest Pokemon of all time, Dunsparce is right there with them. Let's go.
For them, they become embroiled in ruining Team Rocket's plans, who are determined to seek out their estranged leader. This involves saving the Slowpoke from Team Rocket, farming a red Gyarados rampaging at the Lake of Rage, disrupting their forced evolution signal, and finally defeating them at Goldenrod City's famous radio tower. In this time, they also befriend Celebi, who takes them back to see that Giovanni is indeed Silver's father. Then Celebi takes them forward to when Team Rocket had taken over the radio tower, with Ethan or Lyra defeating Giovanni at Tojo Falls. This in turn prevents him from
Okay,
rejoining
okay.
Team Rocket. In completing these actions, 5 Kimono girls follow their actions closely, believing them to be the ones to recall Ho-Oh and Lugia. Ho-Oh had fled previously in search of one of pure heart, and returns due to the trainer being that such person. Ethan or Lyra then challenges the Pokemon League, trouncing Silver one last time, who has learned to be kind to his Pokemon. The trainer then goes on to defeat
Okay.
Lance to become the new champion of the Kanto and Johto regions. While Gyarados rages around the Lake of Rage, Lucas or Dawn watches the events unfold via a news broadcast while in the Sinnoh region. At some point in the last 300 years, the name of Hisui was changed to Sinnoh. Lucas or Dawn then venture out to Lake Verity, near Twin Leaf Town due to this report, in the hope of seeing a rare Pokemon, accompanied by their friend Barry. Attacked by Wild Starly after finding a briefcase with 3 Pokemon in it, they defend themselves with the Pokemon. Professor Rowan was the owner of the briefcase. Despite the theft,
Okay.
Rowan encourages the two to head off on their own adventure, with a Pokédex in hand and their new partner Pokemon. Both aim to obtain all 8 badges and become the champion of the region. Cyrus, however, has other plans. A mysterious leader of Team Galactic, Cyrus plans to remake the world in his image, a new world removed of emotion and spirit, employing Team Galactic to meet these ends. Lucas or Dawn and Barry tangle with Team Galactic at several steps, culminating in the rundown Temple of Sinnoh, now known as the Spear Pillar. Cyrus attempts to use the red chain to summon.
Okay, so in the timeline, how does this work with because if in Legends Arceus you had to catch you caught all the Pokemon. You caught Dialga, you caught Palkia, you caught Giratina. How does that work? This work in the future?
Dialga and
Did he just get freed when the trainer died?
Palkia, however, accidentally calls forth Giratina too, where he's sucked into the distortion world. The region's champion, Cynthia, and Lucas or Dawn follow in an attempt to save Cyrus and quell Giratina's rage. Lucas or Dawn reaches Cyrus and they battle. With Cyrus's defeat, he walks away into the void. His fate remains unknown. The trainer then subdues Giratina and its violent rage subsides. They head to Sunyshore City to claim their final badge, and then to the Pokemon League, carving their way through Victory Road, the Elite Four, and Cynthia herself, in one of the most legendary battles the Pokemon universe has ever seen. Sometime after this, Ethan or Lyra heads to Kanto, defeating...
That's no lie. It took me forever to beat Cynthia in the original playthrough. When in Diamond and Pearl and the remakes, the Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, took me 2 tries to beat her. Surprising, because I thought it would take forever.
All gym leaders there, and eventually taking on Red at Mount Silver. 5 years after this, Lucas or Dawn are brought back in time by Arceus, with...
Okay, never mind. They explained it. It's a fucking paradox. Okay.
only a vague message to guide them. Seek out all Pokemon.
Would you rather buy 80 expensive cartridges or use...
So, okay, let me get
replace
past this
paint
back.
bottles and save up to $1,000.
So, I guess that kind of can explain it. The whole only if since this is Dawn slash Lucas that got sent back in time to become the Hisuian character. I guess when they caught them in the past and they were released in the around their deaths, they probably were just waiting for Dawn and Lucas to get to Mount Coroner. And then when they saw them, hey, you can get caught again. Because they were already caught. They can only be caught by your trainer. So they were just changing Pokeballs out. Interesting.
Hilbert or Hilda, along with their friends Sharon and Bianca, received their very first Pokemon in the
black and
bedroom
white.
of Hilbert
Great. I
or
love
Hilda's
black and
house
white.
in New Vermitown in the Unova region. This, like the trainer before them, was a gift from a Pokemon researcher, Professor Juniper. The three decide to leave on their own journey to collect 8 badges, complete the Pokédex, and become the Pokemon League champion. You might be noticing a theme here. Upon arriving in Accumula Town, they encounter the nefarious Team Plasma, who announce their plans for Pokemon liberation to separate Pokemon from humans. Team Plasma believe that Pokemon owning and battling are akin to slavery, seeing that all Pokemon should be freed.
That is a argument that people made. Yeah, remember that. That's an argument someone made why I shouldn't be playing Pokemon.
Hilbert or Hilda then battle a mysterious man known only as N, who claims Pokemon are his friends. The trainer continues their journey, dealing with Team Plasma at several locations across Unova. Along the way, they learn of N's involvement in Team Plasma as their king, and he seeks to liberate all Pokemon, just like Team Plasma. They also learn of the original legendary dragon Pokemon, which was split into 2 parts due to its owners, 2 brothers, arguing about the importance of truth and ideals. This created 2 new Pokemon, who would represent both values. N, believing he has the ability to communicate with Pokemon, aims to capture Reshiram. Hilda or Hilbert also obtain a mysterious treasure called the Darkstone. After earning their 8th badge, they travel to the Pokemon League where they defeat the Elite Four. Upon defeating them, they discover that N has already defeated the Unovan champion Alder and promptly summons his castle, destroying the Pokemon League. N did indeed capture the legendary Pokemon Reshiram, who was part of the original dragon representing truth. The Darkstone awakens in Hilbert or Hilda's bag, with the legendary Pokemon Zekrom, the embodiment of ideals, challenging the trainer. The trainer captures it and engages in battle with N, defeating him. Ghetsis, one of the members of 7 Sages and the leader of Team Plasma, reveals that he had a plan to separate people and Pokemon so he could be the only person in the entire world with Pokemon, with him using N as a tool the whole time. Ghetsis
But Ed's right behind you. He can hear everything you're saying.
Attacks Hilbert or Hilda, but is defeated by them. After defeating N and Ghetsis with Zekrom, N becomes sorry for all his wrongdoings and flies off to distant lands on Reshiram. Hilbert or Hilda, Sharon and Bianca continue their journey in Unova and get recruited by an undercover officer codenamed Looker to discover and arrest the remaining 6 of the 7 Sages. After the arrest of all 6, Hilbert or Hilda returns to the Pokemon League, redefeats the Elite Four, then challenges and defeats Alder, becoming champion of Unova proper. 2 years after Hilda and Hilbert starts their journey, Nate or Rosa begins their adventure in the Unova region, but this time they begin in Aspertia City. Nate or Rosa receives their first Pokemon from Bianca in Aspertia City, together with rival and best friend Hugh, who hopes to take back his sister's Purloin from Team Plasma. They begin their journey to become the Unova League champion. In this time period since his defeat, Ghetsis and the Sages in Zuloin have reorganized Team Plasma into Neo Team Plasma, with the goal of taking over the Unova region. He recruits a scientist called Colress and asks the ninja trio called the Shadow Triad to further his goals. They seek the legendary Pokemon Kyurem to ensure their victory. After the trainers earn their 7th badge from Drayden, Team Plasma attacks Opal Lucid City with their giant warship, covering the city in unbreakable ice. The Shadow Triad takes the opportunity to try and steal the DNA splices from Opal Lucid Gym, an item that can unlock the true power of Kyurem. Nate or Rosa and Hugh chase Team Plasma to Humilau City, where after earning their final badge, they confront Zinzaloin, Colress, and the Shadow Triad at the Giant Chasm. After this, the Triad releases Hugh's sister's Purloin, now a Leopard, who is now loyal to Team Plasma. Hugh tells Nate or Rosa to go after Team Plasma and confront Ghetsis. Ghetsis has attempted to wield Kyurem's power for himself and tries to freeze Nate or Rosa alive.
No MCU, please. Bye.
However, N flies in on Reshiram, saving them. Ghetsis then uses Kyurem's power to turn Reshiram back into the White Orb. The DNA splices then allow Kyurem to absorb Reshiram's energy, becoming White Kyurem. It turns out that Kyurem was part of the original dragon, and when it became Reshiram and Zekrom, Kyurem was the leftovers of that original dragon. Nate or Rosa defeats Kyurem, causing the 2 Pokemon to separate, then defeats an enraged Ghetsis. N suggests that Nate or Rosa proceed to the Pokemon League. Heeding his words, Nate or Rosa ascend Victory Road, defeat the Elite Four, and emerge victorious in a battle with the new champion, Iris. After returning home, Hugh's sister thanks Nate or Rosa for help.
I do like that, the whole the change of gym leaders. I mean, not gym leaders, the change of Pokemon champions. He did it in Emerald as well, which he didn't bring up that Wallace was the champion in Emerald. And Steven had a secret battle at the end of the game in Meteor Falls. Didn't bring that up. But yeah. But I like that Iris became the champion and
helping her
Black
big
White
brother, and tells them that she has been dreaming of Zoroark calling her name. At Hugh's suggestion, they return to Victory Road, finding a Zoroark that leads them to the ruins of En's castle, where En and Reshiram challenge them to battle. After defeating En, he says goodbye to Reshiram and releases it by asking it to turn back into the White Orb to give to Nator Rosa. Nator Rosa climbs to the top of the Dragon Spiral Tower and faces Reshiram again, this time to capture it. At the same time as Nator Rosa's journey across Unova, Caleb or Serena begin a similar journey in the Kalos region. This is along with their friends Tierno, Shauna, and Trevor. They embark on an adventure after receiving their first Pokemon from Professor Sycamore. Sycamore tasks them with filling out his Pokedex and assisting in helping with his research on Mega Evolution. Throughout their travels, they come face to face with the mysterious Lysander and the evil Team Flare. Both are strangely obsessed with beauty in all things. Team Flare attempts to steal fossils, siphon power, and steal Pokeballs across the Kalos region, with Caleb or Serena stopping them at every turn. Even more strange is a mysterious giant AZ that they meet along the way. His origin and goals are unknown to the trainer. After collecting 7 badges, Lysander contacts Caleb or Serena, revealing himself to be the leader of Team Flare. Following a face-off at his lab and then Team Flare's headquarters, the trainer comes face to face with Xerneas or Yveltal, who Lysander plans to use their power to fire his ultimate weapon, the very same weapon that was fired thousands of years ago to end the Great Pokemon War. The trainer succeeds in stopping the legendary Pokemon and goes toe-to-toe with Lysander, who wields the power of Mega Evolution. However, as Caleb or Serena also wield this power, they come out on top. This also results in the imprisoned AZ being rescued, who Lysander captured to obtain his key to the ultimate weapon. Lysander fires the weakened weapon anyway, burying it, himself, and destroying Team Flare's hideout. Caleb or Serena claim their last badge and take on the Pokemon League, taking down the Elite Four and champion Diantha. At the Victory Parade, AZ challenges the new champion to see what a trainer really is. Ultimately, the champion comes out on top, with AZ thanking them for freeing him. As his heart is unburdened, Floette returns to him, forgiving AZ for his past misdeeds, and the two are reunited once more. 2 years later, the timeline.
Don't know why that would affect Floette, or else Floette was watching him the entire time without him knowing. Could have been an option. Sun and Moon. Now, I don't know anything about Sun and Moon, so.
Timeline splits into 2 alternate realities. Either of these events fit with the previous and future events. In the paradise of the Alola region, Elio or Celine, after just moving to Alola, leave their homes on Route 1 to take on the Island Challenge, a challenge that falls outside of the Pokemon Leagues found in other regions. The trainer also befriends Lily, who carries the Pokemon known as Nebby in her bag as her companion. This occurs after the trainer attempts to defend Nebby from a flock of rabid Spearow, only to be saved by one of the island guardians known as Tapu Koko. Hala, the island's leader, or Kahuna, gives them their first Pokemon, along with his grandson Hal. The Island Challenge consists of 7 trials across the 4 islands and 4 island trials. These consist of certain challenges or fighting powerful totem Pokemon. Across Alola, the trainers run into Team Skull, a gang of kids.
So the reason why I didn't play Sun and Moon, because there was no gym, so it's like that's why I didn't play it. Don't ask why. I just didn't play it because I didn't like the gym part of it. But I found out that you become the first champion of Alola, which is cool. Which I wish that I'd played to get to that, but I didn't.
Kids who failed the Island Challenge.
Also, the Team Skull. I didn't really like Team Skull that much.
And in doing so, reject the tradition and become delinquents. They also block other trainers from completing this. They are also headed by the charismatic Guzma, who is denied being one of the trial captains. Another key member of the team is Gladion, a strong trainer who's partners with Type Null. Both are encountered at various points in the journey. The party also run into the Aether Foundation, a benevolent group committed to the rehabilitation of sick Pokemon. Their leader is Lusamine. After defeating the island Kahuna on Akala Island, they are invited to meet her. However, a weird creature interrupts it by entering through a wormhole. Lusamine becomes very interested in this strange being. The island challenge continues, with the group carving their way through multiple challenges and assaulting Team Skull's hideout in Poe Town. They once again end up at the Aether Paradise after Plumeria, yet another Team Skull member, kidnaps Lily and Nebby. Gladion, who overheard the situation, Hau and the trainer head for the Aether Paradise to see Lusamine attempt.
Every time I hear Aether, I just think of the Aether mod from Minecraft. The Aether was a nostalgic stuff because whenever it came out, I thought it was real. The instead of making a obsidian portal, they made a portal out of glowstone and you put a bucket of water on it. I thought that was real. It turned out it was just a mod. I didn't even know what mod was when that came out.
Attempting to bring back the Pokemon from earlier. Gladion and Hau give chase and tells Lusamine not to open the wormhole again, revealing that both Lily and Gladion are indeed her children.
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is
I don't know.
Lusamine disregards this and opens it up anyway, causing lots of wormholes to open around Alola, and alien Pokemon known as the Ultra Beasts begin pouring out of them. Elio or Celine defeats Lusamine, Guzma, and the Ultra Beast, but they manage to retreat into Ultra Space. For some reason, Nebby takes on a new form. Gladion grants Elio or Celine the Moon Flute and Sun Flute, then helps the party to get to Pony Island to continue their island challenge. Hapu is there, who the group met previously on Akala Island. She reveals the island has no kahuna, but Tapu Fini agrees to make her the new kahuna. Hapu even tells them about a ritual that needs to be completed at the altar of the sun or altar of the moon to summon the legendary Pokemon Solgaleo or Lunala, but they need the other flute to complete it. This is located on Executor's Island. Both Lily and the trainer travels there to obtain Lily's flute. At the altar, the duo is attacked by Team Skull, but Plumeria stops the fighting to try and find out what happens to Guzma. After hearing the reality of this situation, she lets them both continue to the altar. Once the flutes are played, Nebby is taken from the bag and evolves into Solgaleo or Lunala. Nebby has the power to travel through Ultra Space. This allows them to seek out Lusamine. The team successfully finds Lusamine and Guzma. A battle with Lusamine ensues, with her sending out the Ultra Beast Nihilego. Then Lusamine fuses with it, taking the role of the Pokemon in the battle. Nebby luckily manages to separate them, with Nebby transporting all the humans back to their dimension. Hapu takes Guzma and Lusamine to safety, while Lily claims she is not a trainer and Nebby would be happy with Elio or Celine. So they battle and the legendary Pokemon is captured. The trainer then heads to Mount Lanakila on Ula Ula Island, with Professor Kuki greeting them and announcing the Pokemon League has been set up. The trainer takes on 4 of the previous trial captains and kahunas who now make up the Elite Four, with the Professor being the final battle before they become champion. Once Elio or Celine becomes champion, there is a festival on Mele Mele Island, and the champion faces off against Tapu Koko. Finally, on the following day, Hau drags the champion to Hau'oli City, where Lily is set to leave on her own journey. Having been inspired by the champion, she sets off to the Kanto region. In Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, the timeline splits when Lusamine opens up the initial wormhole, seeking to protect the world from Necrozma instead of seeking Nihilego. She and Guzma are abducted by Necrozma when opening up the wormhole after kidnapping Lily. The Ultra Recon Squad also meets with the trainer on several occasions and slowly reveals the true origins of Necrozma. Necrozma has travelled from their dimension after stealing all of the light. The trainer uses the flute at the altar, Guzma and Lusamine are spat out of the wormhole, with Nebby being attacked by Necrozma, subsequently being absorbed by it. Necrozma flees to another dimension. In an otherworldly city called Megalopolis, the trainer battles with Ultra Necrozma, defeating it and freeing Nebby. After the trainer becomes the champion, Team Rainbow Rocket attacks from another dimension, headed by Team Rocket's Giovanni, flanked by Lysander, Cyrus, Getsis, Archie, and Maxie. Colress, the very same from years before, helps the champion and Lily, and confirms Giovanni's plan was to travel across dimensions to seize control of the Ultra Beasts for his own gains. Whichever story you prefer can be accepted as canon. 3 years later, over in...
so timeline split, and it's 2, and regular Sun Moon is one canon, and Ultra Moon, Ultra Sun is one canon. Did it come back into one timeline, or is it still 2 separate timelines that So like, if Galar, the Sword and Shield, is a follow up of Sun and Moon, does that mean there's a different story for Galar that's happening for Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon? Questions.
In the Galar region, Victor or Gloria plans to leave their home of Postwick with their friend Hop. They both receive their first Pokemon from Hop's brother and undefeated champion, Leon. Both Hop and the trainer visit the Slumbering Weald, meeting a mysterious Pokemon. Sonia hands them their own Pokédexes, and Professor Magnolia also hands them Dynamax bands, allowing their Pokemon to undergo the phenomena called Dynamaxing. This allows Pokemon to grow in magnitudes and size and gain new moves. It is particularly popular in gym battles. The two leave on their journey to defeat all 8 gyms. Along the way, they run into another trainer called Marnie, who is followed by her hooligan-like fans, Team Yell. Moreover, they also run into an organization headed by Chairman Rose, who happens to be the chairman of the Pokemon League and the Macrocosmos. The Macrocosmos seeks to provide sustainable energy for the Galar region through Dynamaxing, which in turn is caused by Galar particles. This energy is causing wild Pokemon to Dynamax at random, but thankfully, Leon is on hand and periodically stops them throughout the story. Rose has also endorsed a young trainer called Bede in the Gym Challenge. Bede takes the Gym Challenge at the same time as Gloria or Victor.
I really should replay Pokemon Shield, because it's and not just get the dialogue, actually read the dialogue so I can get storyline. This is doing a really good job at it though.
With the trainers going toe-to-toe on several occasions. The duo, during their journey, visit the Isle of Armor off the east coast of Galar, where they meet another rival, Clara or Avery, along with the former Galar champion Mustard. Mustard takes them into his dojo to become students. The course involves taking a series of trials with their new rival, eventually coming head-to-head when they battle one another. Winning the battle, Victor or Gloria get to meet the legendary Pokemon Kubfu and take on the Tower of the Two Fists, ending in a battle against Mustard and his own Kubfu. After taking home the win, Kubfu learns to evolve into either form of Urshifu when shown the Scrolls of Darkness or Waters.
Oily, shiny, dry, and tight. Yep, it's me, your combination skin, and I'm demanding.
Sometime later, the duo and Hop visit the Crown Tundra, a frozen region south of Postwick. Upon arrival, they meet Peony, a retired gym leader and a strange brother to Chairman Rose. He recruits them to become part of his exploration team, asking them to research the mysteries of the Crown Tundra. This leads them to meet Calyrex, a Pokemon and former king of the region. The two help it reunite with its trusty steed, Glastria or Spectria. Their exploration has them research ruins around the Crown Tundra and encounter the legendary giants, or the Reggies. Finally, the two spend time hunting new forms of the Cantonian legendary birds, where Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres have adapted to the Crown Tundra, taking on new radical forms. In the championship battle at Winden Stadium, Chairman Rose interrupts the match by reawakening Eternatus. Chairman Rose knows that Galar is due to be hit with an energy crisis in the far future, and believes Eternatus is the one that can solve this issue. The trainer and Hop return to the Slumbering Weald in the hope of finding the legendary Pokemon that prevented the darkest day all those years ago, only to find the rusted sword and rusted shield. Heading to Hammerlock, Leon, Hop, and the trainer confront Rose, defeating him, with Leon attempting to capture Eternatus. Once it is defeated, Eternatus Eternamaxes and turns into its true form. Luckily, the rusted item summons Zacian and Zamazenta, with a fierce battle ensuing between the legendary Pokemon and Eternatus. Hop and the trainer are successful, and Eternatus is captured. Several days later, the championship match continues, and Victor or Gloria defeats the undefeated Leon to become the champion of Galar. After the championship battle, Swordwood and Shieldbert, two descendants of the Galarian monarchy, seek to restore their throne.
Okay, I never got to this part. I didn't play the post game of Pokemon Shield.
Enraging Pokemon across the region and forcing them to Dynamax. It turns out they plan to take control of Zacian and Zamazenta, resulting in them being lured out and driven into a frenzy, forcing the champion to battle them once again. Once the legendary Pokemon is quelled, the opposite of the two appears and the champion catches it. Hop and the champion have one final battle. Sometime later, Florian or Juliana moves to Paldea. They meet their new neighbor, Nemona, and the trainer wishes to start their own Pokemon journey. The pair are gifted with their first Pokemon from Director Clavel, the headmaster of Naranja or Uva Academy, the very school the two will be attending. Nemona is already a champion-ranked trainer, but decides to raise a new...
I chose Fully Coco. because he was the best in my opinion. Yeah. This is also gonna be brand new because I don't know anything about this because I kind of went off course and somehow ended up at the last gym as my second gym.
Poke 1 instead. The trainer or Nemona encounter a Miraidon or a Koraidon, who is injured after crash landing near Capo Poco, who, in turn, saves the two from a pack of Houndour.
Yep.
They also meet Arven, the child of a Pokemon professor, Truro or Sada. Arven identifies the Pokemon, although the professor has been working in Area 0 and Arven hasn't seen them in many years. Eventually the students arrive in Mesagoza to attend school. In turn, they run into Penny, a new student from Galar, who is being bullied by a group of delinquents. After being called by the professor, admitting the legendary Pokemon used to be theirs, they ask the trainer to look after it. They are then sent on an independent field study, being asked to find their personal treasure. This includes 3 tasks, defeating all 8 gyms as encouraged by Nemona. The hacker Cassiopeia requests them to take down Team Star across 5 bases in Paldea, an alleged group of bullies previously expelled from the academy. They belong to the same group harassing Penny, and Arven requests them to help defeat the 5 Titan Pokemon, massive creatures that guard the Herba Mystica. This herb has immense healing capabilities. The trainer hunts down the Titan Pokemon, including an odd Paradox Pokemon, Iron Treads or Great Tusk. However, the trainer also learns Arven is hunting down the Herba Mystica to heal his sick Mabostiff, who was severely injured a while ago. The Herba Mystica is used to help recover the legendary Pokemon's power, allowing Koraidon or Miraidon to traverse various new terrains. The trainer, barreling through the 8 gyms and clashing with Nemona at every turn, eventually takes on the Pokemon League, triumphing over the Elite Four and the current champion Gita, then trouncing Nemona in one final battle. The trainer succeeds in taking down the 5 leaders of Team Star, but it's revealed that they themselves were being bullied, and since Clavel wiped the records of bullying in the school, Team Star were branded as the bullies, despite them being the victims who formed the group to protect one another. The previous staff even resigned over this.
Damn, that's fucked up. Okay.
Event. Cassiopeia reveals themselves to be the big boss of Team Star. Meeting at the academy at night, Clive, who's been encouraging the trainer the whole time to take down Team Star, was unsurprisingly Director Clavel. The trainer beats him in a battle, only for Penny to reveal she was the hacker the whole time, with the two battling once again. After losing to the trainer, the Team Star leaders then turn their bases into training facilities for Pokemon trainers. During these adventures, the students take part in 2 field trips. The first being to Kitkami. The field trips are in conjunction with the Blueberry Academy in the Unova region. 2 of their students, brother and sister Kieran and Carmine, are Kitkami natives and meet the group in Mosai Town. The trainer learns of the legend of the Loyal 3 and Ogerpon, with the 3 being revered as heroes and Ogerpon as evil. Carmine and the trainer encounters Ogerpon that night. It is shortly revealed that the Loyal 3 were actually the villains of the story and Ogerpon was the real victim. Kieran was kept from learning about the encounter with Ogerpon by Carmine and overhears this revelation, feeling betrayed. The Loyal 3 return from their graves and steal 3 of Ogerpon's masks from Kitkami Hall, and the trader sets out to retrieve them. Kieran convinces the townsfolk of Ogerpon's innocence. Ogerpon decides to join the trader, making Kieran feel even more betrayed, and the siblings return to Blueberry Academy. With all of this concluded, the group begins their journey into the Great Crater of Paldea, searching for the professor. They encounter various Paradox Pokemon, creatures resembling modern Pokemon from the past or the future. Eventually, near the base, they discover the professor's lab. And the professor is dead, with an android replica communicating with them the whole time. The professor succeeded in inventing a time machine, bringing forward or back Pokemon from different time periods. This included Koraidon and Miraidon, along with a second, more aggressive one, which eventually killed the professor. The android asks them to destroy it and the time machine, but a fail-safe initiates, causing the android to attack, who is also in possession of the other legendary Pokemon. Koraidon or Miraidon was previously injured by this Pokemon, so it's reluctant to fight. Despite this fear, it learns to battle again, helping defeat the robot. The android travels to a different time period before the time machine is destroyed, as it cannot be done while the AI remains in the present.
This Adam is on WhatsApp. Everyone
This is actually real. Okay,
this
hold
Adam
on.
is not.
A little
I need to go play that game then, because I did not know this. This is very interesting. Okay, hold
while
on.
later, the students are invited to Blueberry Academy by the director Serrano. They arrive at the academy and explore the terrarium, a massive undersea dome that holds 4 different biomes. Upon seeing Carmine again, she mentions Kieran has become abrasive to everyone, obsessed with getting stronger in order to defeat the trainer. Kieran becomes the champion of the Blueberry League in this time, dethroning Drayton, Drayden's grandson. As the trainer is already the Paldean champion, they are allowed to challenge the Elite Four directly, ending with a fierce battle and a hard-fought victory against Kieran. He is visibly upset at this loss, since his training amounted to nothing. Briar has received permission to visit Area Zero from the Paldean League. On return to Paldea, as the Blue Reach students accompany them, the group are allowed to visit Area Zero to help Briar to find Terrapagos. Kieran agrees, hoping to catch the legendary Pokemon for himself. Florian or Juliana receive the Indigo Disc from Rika. Traveling to Area Zero and to the Crystal Cave, the group learn of the Stellar type, containing every type combined. As they delve deeper, they find the dormant form of Terrapagos. Upon awakening, Kieran throws a Master Ball at it, planning to use it against the Paldean champion. Briar encourages the two to battle, and Kieran unleashes Terrapagos. Unfortunately for him, he loses control of it, with its power overflowing, absorbing the terrestrial energy. Carmine and the trainer attempt to fight Terrapagos, but Carmine is defeated swiftly. Kieran then joins forces with Florian or Juliana, with the two taking on Terrapagos and stopping it. Following the battle, Briar publishes a retelling of the expedition in a book, giving a copy of it to the player as a gift. After receiving it, the trainer visits the crystal pool in Kitkami, causing Terrapagos to emerge from its Pokeball and a strange mist to appear. Professor Sado or Professor Churro emerges from the mist, who seems to have somehow been transported through time and space. The professor becomes fascinated by various things the player tells him about, especially information presented in Briar's book. Wishing to study it further, the professor trades it for their cherished copy of the Scarlet Book or Violet Book before the mist disappears and they're transported back to where they came from. And that just about does it. Where Legend ZA will appear on the timeline is anyone's guess, but it's almost certainly set in the near future. We'll just have to wait and see.
This was a very actually good video. It actually made me really want to play the Scarlet Violet and Alola games. Something that Pokemon didn't do. This was a fun trip to see everything, in one complete storyline, from playing as Red, to playing as Brendan, to be playing as Ethan, to playing as Brendan, to be playing as Lucas. I think no, Lucas is there. Playing Black and White 2. Playing Pokemon Pokemon X. I remember Sun and Moon, don't remember because I didn't play it. This is a great trip down memory lane. Yeah. Thank y'all for sticking around if you all watched this with me. Be sure comment down below what franchise I should look into next. And comment down below what you would like to see me react to in the future. Link to the original video will be down in the description below. Be sure to go check them out and give this video a like and subscribe. Until next time, guys, I'll be seeing you.